The Painful Excellence Podcast.
Absolutely. Hey, we have to have a conversation, man. Drew Titan Prongs on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. This is Painful Excellence Podcast. Come on in, like and share the video. Share the video. We are our own algorithm. Let's not leave it up to YouTube to do anything for us, because once again today I caught them in a lie. Once again they were caught in a lie. And they tried to make up for the lie by adding a little more subs, onto my subscribe count. No. Every time I gotta contact you hooligans, I catch you in the lie, and it's for a reason. Just because you haven't heard from me in a couple of months doesn't mean I'm not paying attention. Come on in, smash the like button. Mac in the South, Sam Mac, Bill D, Rod Neal, Condo, my brother, Mr. Shelton. Salute. I have to get back in the saddle. Because there's a lot to discuss here. Whole lot to discuss. Y'all see what's going on. Got three faces on here. This conversation is not for it's only for the kids, It's also, I'm finding, it's for the adults that lack direction. I'm quite in awe of the amount of grown men my age and younger that lack direction. They just been moseying along life, and they just, you don't know until they speak up. My brother Kofa in the building, salute. Daryl Alexander, salute. Yamasa Pakat, DP Rocker, Jose Diaz, Shara, salute, Queen. I didn't realize that. You know why? Because if you're my age, or if you're a lot younger, if you're in your 30s, I give you the benefit of the doubt. And one thing I've known about social media is that there's a lot of buffoons that come forth. And what's scary is that they don't know that they're buffoons. And you see it. You see it in their comments. You see it in what they support. You see it in what they claim they rep. Eric Jordan, salute. Just Spark, my brother, salute. Aaron Butler, salute. Come on in, smash the like button, like and share the video. This is not a clown show right here. But my question, and y'all see it in the chats, and I have these guys' face here for a reason. My question is, who are your idols? Who are your idols? One more time. Who are your idols? And I'm pretty much talking to the men. I'm talking to the men, young men, old men my age. Who are your idols? I come from an era where every fella that I came up with, you know who our heroes were? Our dads. Whether that changes in time, I don't know what y'all situation are, but to this day, my dad is my hero. That's just what it is. I was always able to differentiate between what I saw on TV, what I saw on a football field, what I saw, on a basketball court. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's cool, but I live with this man right here. This man's taking care of me. This man's going to work every day. I'm watching his work ethic, and I'm emulating him. Paul Carrick, salute. I remember my dad used to shave every other morning. Now, I don't know how many of y'all came up with your fathers, but do y'all remember watching your dad shave? And you get next to the sink and you start putting soap on your face and trying to shave like he shaves? I'm a little older than y'all, okay? There was no electrical razors. He had shaving cream, some water running, and the blade, light eye salute. And I remember putting soap on my face, and I got the blade holder with no blade in it. He made sure there was no blade in it. And my mama would walk by and be like, "Oh, look at y'all." And every morning I'd be imitating him. You know, I watch him put on his dress socks and his shoes. And that's how you do it. You're setting an example. And and salute to you, DP Rocker. Salute to you. Salute, and God rest your dad. It's amazing how many young men I just realized can't relate to that. And what's crazy is that's not in abundance, because Black fathers are the most involved in their children's lives. But the men that came up without their fathers, don't they have the loudest megaphone? Because they cry the loudest. You understand what I'm saying? If you had your dad in your life and you had a little bit of disagreements or whatever, but when you get older, you get mature, you say, you know what? My dad had my best interest in his heart. Love you, Pop. You know, I appreciate you. So there's nothing to scream and holler about. But the dudes that have the worst upbringing, they have the loudest mouths because they cried the most. They were the problem kids in school. You know, what kept me in line in school was I goofed around in school, but I drew the line once the teacher was like, you know what? Parents at work, let me make a phone call. But like, oh no, chill, wait, whoa. Because I had to go home and deal with that. Or get dealt with. You understand? Deal with it or get dealt with. And you get dealt with quick. All right? As I got older, what kept me in line, I was around the streets, but I tell y'all, I was never a street dude. I had some friends that ventured into the street thing. Bill D, salute. Yep. And once they got into their street mode, I'm like, all right, I'll see y'all later. That's what the Atari and the ColecoVision and the Nintendo later, a few years later, that's what that was for. Oh, y'all getting some street stuff? Oh, okay, I'll see y'all later. Hit me when you get back. Hit me when you get back. I knew better than that. You know why? It wasn't so much I was scared of police. It wasn't so much I was scared of anybody like outside. I could fight. I just had this reoccurring nightmare. Like, imagine me with you stupid asses doing something I had no business doing because my parents raised me better. And they have to go to the precinct to get me. That's embarrassing. Mark Wunderlich, salute. That's embarrassing. And that's an ass whooping that I want no part of. Straight up. I want no smoke. Zero. You understand? But some of you exist in chaos, and that's fine. That's fine. Now, I don't know what your situations are, but the kids that had the worst childhood got the biggest mouths. But what I need you guys to understand is that is the minority. Just because everybody has a story, you notice our athletes, they always got to come from the hood or have some sort of gutter story and come from a single parent household. And my mama was single and daddy wasn't around. And I got 14 brothers and sisters. It's always some rags to riches story. It's like that with athletes. It's like that with rappers. The bigger the thug you are on the street or were in the street, the more albums you're going to sell. At least, I don't know what they're doing now, but that's what it used to be. It's a problem. So when I ask, who are your idols? I'm saying that for a reason, because there's a few guys I could have thought of throughout when I was coming up. But these are the three that are sticking out like a sore thumb right now, and it's annoying. Now I'm gonna start with this guy, Kevin Gates, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. You could play a song by him, and I won't know it's him because I don't listen to a lot of the foolishness. You understand? But one thing I do know is two things. I got on Instagram and he's on the show, on the stage, and a woman sits on the chair and leans her head back. And he comes and spits in her mouth. Now, that is disgusting. But let me ask you a question. If your son saw that on social media, and then you realize that this is the guy that is all on his MP3s and he's reciting his lyrics, you don't think that there's a disconnect there? Hen Dog, salute. You don't think there's a disconnect there? Aren't you going to start looking at yourself like, whoa, where did I fail at? Let me be very clear. I came up in the 80s. Rap music was fun. I was around when rap took a turn in the late 80s, early 90s, right? Rap took a turn. And I don't want to get into it. I'm going to do the hip hop show down the road. Amina, salute, Queen. And I was a teenager. And there was a lot of things on the news about the rap music, and NWA came out, and then to rival the charge of NWA, Russell Simmons came out with Onyx, and everybody was running around New York with a shaved head. I came up in that era. Shaquille, salute. Everybody was looking like a gangster, and I had to ensure my parents, and I was doing the rapping thing. I used to do shows. I used to battle rap. I used to do all of that stuff. And Ramona, salute, Queen. And I had to ensure my parents, look, I don't play in the streets like that. This is just it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. I looked the part, because that's another thing. In the 90s, I here in New York, DPMV, salute. I will, brother. I'm gonna let you know something, man. If you didn't look the part in my city, you could be minding your business and get jumped for no reason. It was like that out here. I came up in the box cutter era. It was wild out here for a little while. In New York, it was wild out here. It was really wild. But my point is, I assured my parents that I'm not living what these cats is talking about. In fact, when I used to have to pay for studio time, I made sure I didn't write rhymes. I didn't cuss a lot. And I wasn't talking about shooting no guns. And in fact, that's part of the reason why we didn't get anywhere, because when we was trying to get a deal, the industry transitioned. NWA, Onyx, and everybody was rhyming hardcore, and I came from this projects, and I'm shooting people, and by that time, I wasn't finna. I couldn't cut a demo and play that to my mother. She'd go upside my head. And they'd be like, that's not you, bro. Shooting guns, what are you? No. Chill Time Majors, Andrew 100, salute. Hell no. So, that ship sailed, and it's all good. It wasn't meant for me to be involved in it. I was involved in it in another light later on when I started doing security and stuff, and you learn a lot. But not to go off on a tangent, this guy, Kevin Gates, he's spitting in women's mouths. When I ask you who are your idols, if your son was listening to Kevin Gates and you find out that he's spitting in women's mouths on stage, how do you feel as a parent? Don't you feel like a failure? It's like, what is going on here? What the hell is this guy? You know that that's not cool to be spitting in women's mouths, right? And if you're around a woman that demands that kind of behavior, you get away from her, because there's something wrong with her. A woman paid a show to go get spit in the mouth. Oh, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. I also seen this guy getting on, I'm not too familiar with his music. Well, I'm not familiar at all. I'm not even going to say too familiar. Like I know some, I don't know any. Hollywood Leon, salute. I'm not familiar with his music. You can't play a track and say this is Kevin Gates. I won't know it. But I do see him popping off on on the gram or wherever he's at, giving his words of wisdom, as they call it, or whatever he says. And recently he said something about LeBron James' wife. Dritch, what up? Now, I heard it, but let me say this about LeBron James. Maybe you got to remind me, because I've been around a long time. I remember when LeBron got drafted, and now you turn around, his 2 decades in the league or something like that. Let me ask you a question. Has LeBron James been in trouble off the court ever? Name one time, because I can't think of one. I know Kobe had the grape charge. That was complete BS. I know Michael Jordan had the gambling issue. And that boy was supposed to be his friend, and that dude would rather write a book and make money off his name. LeBron James had what exactly? What, his mama banging his teammate? That ain't had nothing to do with him. She grown. I can't think of one time LeBron got, that man has been a perfect citizen off the court, and I don't care if he got his son into the NBA. Use your juice. It's nepotism, and I don't care. Tay, good morning. Well, good evening, sis. How you doing? I don't care. LeBron James has been a model citizen. One thing they tried to put on him recently was, oh, you was at a Diddy party. A lot of people was at a Diddy party. He ain't getting named anywhere. And if he does, I don't believe it. Snoop, what up? I don't believe it. So he said something about LeBron James' wife. Can I tell y'all something? There's 2 legendary rock stars in life that I don't know how their wives look, and they have that in common. Young Abel, salute. That is LeBron James. I don't know how his wife looks. I don't. And LL Cool J. I don't know how his wife looks. I ain't checking for. And LL Cool J has been the rapper heartthrob for over 35 years, y'all. 35. And he's been with this woman the whole time. Do y'all know that? You know he's been with one chick. Now, I don't know what kind of arrangement they have, if any. Look, but you know what? She wasn't bouncing around all in the videos. And I think she recently did an interview talking about what it was like to being married to a sex symbol. You never seen her. Philip D in the building, salute. She stayed out the way. So how dare this man talk about LeBron James' wife, talking about, oh, well, I don't like how she looked at him. Okay. LeBron's wife has been there since high school. You don't hear from her. And you know, everything's subject to change. You don't know. But as it stands right now, I'm dealing with the now. If it changes tomorrow, I don't know. But we're dealing with the now, right? And right now, she's not doing anything. Now, he saw her look at him a certain way. What are you reading into, my man? What do you know? And you know what I do know, though? Every now and again, somebody will share something that he says, and it's on mute on Instagram. You got to unmute the audio. And I know there was more than one time where I've looked at his face as he's talking. Now, only a handful of brothers gonna get what I'm saying. You got to be a man of a certain age. I don't know how old this young man is. He could be my age. I don't know. But as I'm watching him in this video, I'm like, what is this nigga? Why do people always sharing his videos? You know, Joe, what up, Joe? And I'm looking. I said, yo, this dude looking kind of saucy to me, though. He looks very saucy to me. The neck got the rolling and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, is it me? Or, you know, he looking kind of broken wrist. Eh, the International Quiet Storm in the building. Salute. Gnarly Ray, Peter the Great. So I'm looking at him. I'm like, why does he sound like this? Maybe I'm bugging. I'm not bugging. Are y'all familiar with Saint and the Sinner? That brother's channel? Y'all got to be familiar with him. They got to be familiar with him. Recently, now let me tell you how funny the internet is. For some reason, I think it was the LeBron James thing that Kevin Gates said, right? I think it was. And there was an excessive amount of his videos being rotated. Somehow it's popping up on my Instagram. Some people keep sharing it, right? And thank you, Quiet Storm. I appreciate that. And ATX in the building. What up? So I'm looking at his face and I'm like, yo, this dude looks saucy as hell, man. But whatever. So Saint started talking about him one day. And this was like 2 days ago. Well, he uploaded a short and he's talking about Kevin Gates. So I watched it. And he said, yeah, man, the brother got good music, but look at him. And he said, yo, this dude. Oh, Philip, he did say that. He said this dude was broken wrist. And I said, I know I'm not bugging. You see, all it takes is one person to see what I see, and that's all I need. Because I know that we can't be the only two people seeing this. And I said, yo, he thinks it too. You see, I can see this stuff. See, all you young kids think, and all you ladies think, you say he's a heartthrob. You know how many women say they've been attracted to a dude and they find out he gay, and some of these women still go hard on him. I'ma try and change him. Like I told you, what's her name? How Stella got her groove back. That idiot. Like she was done dirty. And when that brother floated out on that damn stage on the Oprah Winfrey show, I was looking at him like, yo, hold on. Me and my brother saw that. It was on television. It was on ABC out here. And when that dude came out on the stage, I'm looking like, yo, hold on. He was like that when she met him in Jamaica. There's no way she didn't know that he was gay. Ain't no way. So these sisters be so infatuated with these singers and everything else. How do you not know? Yeah, yo, you know what this dude said? Now, I didn't hear it, but I think Saint said it. And y'all let me know if this is true. Is this the guy that said, I would have, is this the guy that said, I would F my wife with you? Is this the guy that said that? Heard he said it in the song more than once. MX Plus Black, this is him? This the guy that said that? He said that for real? Blue collar guy, salute. He said that? This is him? Can I ask y'all brothers a question? Could you say something like that? Think about what he said. Not some thought pocket in the street. Not some chick that, you randomly, play pass around. Not that. This is your wife. What is that supposed to be, a bar? I'm so cool with you that I would literally bang my wife with you. They ain't got nothing to do. Now, you say this to this dude, he'll probably flip it and say, oh, nah, well, I'm secure with mine. Ain't got nothing to do with that, bro. No. Ain't got nothing to do with being secure. How deep does your high five go that you want to get naked with your boy to bang your wife? If it's about getting her off, just send her to his crib. If she want an experience, and you better off getting a stranger, not your friend. That's just odd. Hendog said, ain't his wife his cousin? Look, I don't know. But what I'm saying is, this dude is a weirdo, and there's a lot of man fans that run behind him. That's my point. Who the hell are your idols? Because I'm not familiar with him. I just see his face is always popping up on my damn phone. And I'm watching his mannerisms and movements. I said, this dude, all those face tats, you know, he may appear to be tough. But he looked like one of these dudes. Like, I'm telling you, man, these dudes today, if you look at this picture, and I showed my mama these pictures, well, she know who Kanye West is. These other two clowns, she don't know. But back in the 80s, men that looked like this lived in the Village in my city. And shout out to the Village. They got great live music bars there. But don't be thrown. You could take your girl there and go to the live music bars, and they got nice food. But I'm just letting you know that that's the gay neighborhood. That's the gay neighborhood. That's their neighborhood. That's where they, you know, set up shop. In San Francisco, I heard that that's like the gay capital of the United States. That's West 4th basketball court. They have tournaments over there. That's why when the sun was up that Sunday after Anthony Joshua got knocked out by Andy Ruiz, he went live. And at the time I was following AJ on Instagram, I said, oh, he's live. I wonder how he's doing. He's outside walking around in the city. I said, oh, he's downtown in Manhattan. He spun the phone. I said, he's at West 4th. What the hell is he? What is he doing there? What's he doing there? Now I know the Penn Hotel, and let me point this out, y'all. Normally the fighters stay, when they have a fight at Madison Square Garden, right across the street. It's called the Penn Hotel. That's usually where the fighters stay at. From what I heard, there's a tunnel that goes from the hotel underground into MSG. You won't even see them. They ain't got to walk across the street. Even if they walked across the street, it's a short walk. Short, very short. But it's on 34th Street. Where's the basketball court that I'm talking about? West 4th. It's 30 blocks downtown, 30. And the only people that was in that chat asking what you doing there was me and my brother Ak Reacher, Jab Jamboree. I spoke to him a day later. I said, did you see that? And he was like, word, why is that his first stop? You know why? I told y'all that boy's broken wrist. You literally have to get into a cab and say, where the neighborhood at? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Oh, you want to go? Okay, it's downtown. The Empire State Building is up the block and around the corner from MSG. If you're going to go downtown to the World Trade Memorial, just hop in the cab and go downtown. Come uptown to the Apollo Theater on 125th Street. Why was West 4th? You have to ask to go. He didn't just walk down there. It's 30 blocks. He didn't just walk down there. He was asked. He asked where that was, and he went around. He walked around there. And only one brother recognized him. Just one. Nobody knew that was a double lie. He wasn't no worldwide star like Eddie Hearn tried to. And I don't want to make this a boxing thing, but I'm just pointing things out. Because there was a lot of AJ Man fans running behind him in America. And there was things that I saw with him like, this dude's weird. And y'all don't see this? This dude is weird and y'all don't see this. Okay. Okay, y'all gonna get upset. Upset. And I'll be damned. So Kevin Gates, who idolizes Kevin Gates? Oh man, he got the tats on his face. He got diamonds in his mouth. He spits in girls' mouth. He got earrings. He got gold chain and pearls. And he if you get cool with him, I could get with him and smash his wife. You can get with him and what? Smash it. You can get with him and what? Smash his wife. Get with him. Get with him. Get with him. Get with him and what? That's how cool you want to be with him? All right. Adrian, what up? You see, these men today are idolizing other men in the limelight, like how the women would lusting after these R&B singers when I was growing up as a kid. I told y'all what it was like in junior high school. I literally had girls wanting to fist fight me because I said I didn't like one song on the New Edition album when Johnny Gill rolled with them. I think that album came out when I was a freshman in high school. Chicks wanted to throw hands. Oh my God, if I said something about I'll Be Sure, they want to throw hands, literally want to throw hands. Like, yo, relax. You'll never meet this dude. And even if you did, and he throw you a bone, he's a pedo. Because at that time, we were young. When we was in junior high. Don't be talking about my baby and be dead serious. Like, all right, man, that's a woman, though. That's a woman talking at a woman. That's a woman doing that, right? Right. Now you got men doing the same thing. Now, I'm not familiar with Kevin Gates, but I'm sure it's not only women at his goddamn concert. Exactly, Philip D. He was in jail, right? This brother's off. And who are you to comment on LeBron James' wife, man? Shut up, bro. Shut up. If LeBron James is the king, she's the queen, and you are a peasant. And LeBron responded to him accordingly. Who the hell are you to comment on how his wife looks at him? She's been looking at him since fucking 8th grade, nigga. Adrian Crook says he's a strange dude. You see what I mean? I could look at him and tell. I'm like, yo, bro, this the vibe I got from this dude is not the vibe I got when Nelly came out. With Country Grandma, I looked at the brother, I said, okay, this Midwest shit is gonna hit. I can tell. I had a problem with, I had a problem when he was beef with KRS-One, but that was a rap thing. That was a hip-hop thing. I ain't had no like beef with Nelly. But Nelly never gave me no fruity vibes. This motherfucker has. Now, I'm looking at him and say, this dude's weird. And then come to find out. And then Saint and the Sinner put it on blast. And I just saw the short 2 days ago. I was like, oh, I'll be damned. I was right. So Kevin Gates could go sit down somewhere. Now I'm going to go to Tank Davis. Do I really need to go to Tank Davis? What have I been telling y'all about this dude? Mellow Yellow, I call him. Mellow Yellow from Baltimore. What have I been telling you about this kid? What I've been telling you about this kid? When these kids behave in a certain way, something happened. But remember the question. Who are your idols? And I'm talking about a grown-ass man. Do y'all see how these grown-ass men they play special teams defense for this kid? No matter what he does. The only time I defended him was when his baby mama, Elmo Slew, tried to get him assassinated. And I was quite adamant about that. And I did it because it was the right thing to do. Anything past that, I don't ride with him on anything. He's an a-hole. He's an a-hole. But wait a minute, though. Case in point. Shigo. Read between the lines. I'm not trying to say his name on my channel. Shigo. The way he was glazing this dude's donut was unlike anything I've seen. When you hear grown men talking about, chrome hearts, his own style of dress, braids and tattoos, right? Will knock you out, put you on a poster. And then after he talks about his physical appearance, and then at the end of his talking about his physical appearance, he says, what? Exciting to watch. I thought the exciting part was him knocking people out. Xavier, yeah, you called me. I was with family, brother. Salute to you, Xavier. You feel me? The exciting part was him knocking people out. Why did he go on to talk about, okay, put you on a poster, exciting to watch? No, he said, put you on a poster, Chrome Hearts, own style, doesn't need da 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 da, and then says, exciting to watch. Huh? You pretty much said that already, or did you? This dude watches his stuff ass naked. And I'm noticing, Dragon Salute, a lot of boys do that. Now, here's why I say there's a lot of boys that grow up to become men that still have that shit in them. Kanye West. I'm going to tell you, man. I knew it. I knew it. Now, he could double back and say, oh, I was just trolling. I was just telling the story. Nah, bro, you can't take this back. You said it already. I just found the lyrics to that song because I wanted to say, nah, he's trolling. Nope. You don't just write this without putting emphasis on it being a story. I'm going to read what this dude said, bro. What's the name of this song? It's called Cousins. It's called Cousins, y'all. Now, peep this. I'm going to read this. Because I had to find this. I'm like, I can't believe this. Adrian, listen to this, bro. Listen to this. This is a Kanye West song called Cousins. Now, I thought this was bullshit because I'm not on Twitter. Someone put it on Twitter. I said, all right, they playing. And then over the last 3 days, we found out this was true. So I'm going to read the lyrics. I saw you outside again, just hanging out with your friends. All right. Verse 1. This is Kanye. Hanging with my cousin, reading dirty magazines. We seen some niggas kissing. We ain't know what that ish mean. Then we start reenacting everything that we had seen. That's when I gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. And that was the first verse, y'all. All right, now. Second verse, he says, and I know these niggas about to judge me now. And I know these niggas about to judge me now. Start off when we was hanging out. Started off when we hang. Told my cousin not to tell nobody. Please don't tell nobody. People, let me take it to my grave. Truth will set you free someday. I don't think they understand that I'm not attracted to a man. They thought that I was gay. And I think this dude, that supersized high calorie dude, David Blunt's, he's singing on this with him. I'm talking about euphoria. I'm talking about euphoria. I am not talking about a man. Told her, don't leave me because I need you by my side. Okay, I'm not reading the rest. Okay, that's what I read, bro. That's what I read. Let me explain something to you. Kanye been around for over 2 decades. When I first saw this dude, let me be clear. When I first heard him talk, you know, he had that glow. You got that glow. When you got the glow, you get the glow. You got the glow. You get the glow. You got the glow. No, and I ain't talking about Bruce Leroy. He had that shit on. I'm looking at him in the eyes. Yo, do you understand why I'm so any OGs in your who here in here is from the South or from the Midwest? Anybody? Both my parents are. Boxing fan times 4 salute. He says, so did he turn Kid Cudi out? I don't know, probably. Y'all forgot about Kid Cudi? Yeah, all right. Yeah. Yup. Okay. What does your OGs tell you about looking someone in the eyes? You can tell a lot about a brother when you look him in the eyes. Louisiana, that counts. Miami, Florida, that counts. When your parents were scolding you, what did they say? Boy, look at me when I'm talking to you. So you can let the parents will let you know that they mean business, and they want to know that what they're screaming at you about is sinking in, so you don't make the same mistake. You feel me? Every black person in New York got roots in the South. Their parents might be from Harlem, but their grandparents be from the South or the Midwest. Trust me. Almost all my friends, summertime, where you going? North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Philadelphia. That does count. My brother Smoke and Talk Baltimore in the building. Salute. Eye contact I'm really big on eye contact. Why do you think, I have no tolerance for trolls. You coming up in here, hiding behind a letter. It's like, bro, I don't know you. Get out of here. You're a coward anyway. Anyway, my point is, I looked at this dude on his first interview. It was a long time ago. And I'm like, watching him talk, and you gotta understand, I did security, and there's a lot of shit that I've seen with your favorite rapper from the 90s, favorite rappers from the 90s. They're gay, but it's not for me to come back to the block and speak on it. Besides, they had such big groupies, females, they wouldn't believe what I was telling them anyway. So I just I told my boys, like, yo, you'd never guess. This dude, that dude, this dude. And they're like, what? Yeah, man. I couldn't believe it. But I seen some stuff. But I remember watching Kanye, and I'm just looking at him, and I'm like, for a decade and some change. I'm like, Then he marries, Then he marries the biggest whore in the world, in Kim Kardashian. I mean, that whole family smutted out. The whole family smutted out. The women I'm talking about. How do you lock that down? When he was kissing her, who was he hoping to taste? Oh my God, did I say that?
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Why would you lock that down? But he did. And he impregnated it. They reproduced, made a wonderful child. And then that didn't last long. And then these tangents he was going on, these meltdowns he was going on. And I know he lost his mom. And I honestly believe he had a nervous breakdown that went undiagnosed. But people, they take pleasure in watching what they believe is your downfall. You remember he was walking out of his garage with his head down, and he fucking headbutted by accident the stop sign. And he just wanted the media to leave him alone, and he didn't even see the sign. It was like, bong. It was funny. Then he went inside the diner. You know what I mean? Then he does the joint, PJ salute. Then he does the joint with Jay-Z. He fell out with Jay-Z, right? Fell out with Justin Timberlake. You remember, you ain't got all the answers, Sway. Remember that? I'm like, yo, what's wrong with this dude? Then he's running for president. And then I remember the Wall Street collapse. And for no reason, while they were protesting down on Wall Street in my city, he showed up for no fucking reason. The whole time, this is over at the time like 17 years worth of his antics, and I'm watching him. He's a genius at what he does, I guess. I'm watching him like, yo, you know what? He got that shit on him, man. Brother was like, yo, man, you always saying somebody gay. I said, no, I'm not. But you know what? Yo, guess what? Watch this, y'all. Watch this. One of my close friends said, yo, man, damn, nigga, you always, yo, since I known you, man, you be like, yo, that nigga gay, that nigga gay, that nigga gay, man. You always say, and it was a little joke. Oh, my God, man, you always, damn, man. That's why, you know, some chicks be like, yo, maybe he gay. It's like, no, it's not that. Now, you know what I asked them? After they clowned and joked about it, you know, I could take a joke. You know what I asked them? I said, yeah, y'all saying all of this. But tell me how many times I've been wrong.
Whoa! What?
I've never been wrong, y'all. I've never been wrong. Never. Never, ever, 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 ever been wrong. I've never been wrong. And this is going back since like junior high school. And yeah, there's always some girl trying to shame you. Oh, well, it must take one to know one. Because, yeah, all right. You're mad because you asked me about a rapper. There was this one chick, just a quick story. One chick, she knew that I was doing security for this dude. And she asked if she could come down to this place where he was performing. I said, come down. I'll get you in. I walk you through the front door. Now she want to go. I walked in. Now she want to go backstage. I said, pause. Two things. All right. You go back there. Auntie Jenny, salute. Absolutely, Jenny. I really wasn't supposed to be on because of my work schedule, but things change off the fly. Salute to you, Aunt Jenny. And I said, yo, you go back there. I'm working. I can't keep you out of trouble. And I told her flat out, they back there with drugs. And if you're not back there turning tricks, you may as well not go back there. All right? I told her that. And I'm like, you know, you ain't gonna be going over there getting messed off, and then you go back to the block, and then your girlfriend's like, oh, you were supposed to look out for her. No, I'm working. I'm not babysitting. So I said, look, I got you when you saw the show. If you go backstage, it's going to be on your accord. I'm not, you know, I'm not for it. Delano, salute. And I said, I'm not doing it. I said, you could go back there with the rest of those chicks. They taking off their tops or whatever. But I can't get, I could, but I know what it was back there. And she talk a good one, but she don't want it. And when things get a little too hot for her, she try to dip. And if something went bad back there, I'd get blamed because I got her in, but I didn't get her backstage. You understand what I'm saying? So she was a little upset, but I said, look, mind your manners. Because people standing where you're standing paid about $500. She's like, true. Next day, we in front of the building chilling. They're asking us about the show because she was there, but I was working. And she said, yeah, he wouldn't get me backstage, though. Oh, my God. Why you ain't get her backstage? Because I'm working, and I can't babysit her while she backstage. And those dudes are big-time partiers. I ain't going to say who it was. The big-time partiers. When I say party, Jose knows what I mean. When I say, yo, they partiers, you know what I mean when I say party. That's code. That's code. And that's nothing she was into. Right? And she started to like, oh man, you really should have got me into it. And at first it was like a little joke, but then the more her friends egged on, she got like mad with me. You were supposed to let me in. And I said, look, the truth is, if you'd have went backstage, you'd have been dealing with the other bouncers, his friends, his cousin that rolled with him, and you probably wouldn't have got nowhere near him. Do you know why? Because he's not even in the chicks. Oh my God, here you go. I'm like, okay. Say what you want. I'm around it. I see it. I see it. Ain't no here I go. How many of these girls love that kid from NSYNC? And a few years ago, he came out the closet. Oh yeah, he's gay. The blonde-haired one. Kids, the girls was foaming at the mouth for him. He came out. He gay. And you know what his boy said? What, y'all didn't know? Y'all didn't know he was. How could y'all not know? Well, y'all around him all day. So when I said your favorite rapper might be gay, what was Luther Vandross, God rest the dead, but what was he really singing about? No, not JT, not Justin Timberlake, the other dude. The other blonde-haired dude. Forget his name. What was Luther Vandross really singing about? And he's one of the greatest vocalists of all time. But what was he singing about? George Michael from Wham. What was he really singing about? Think about it. Kenyatta Ali, salute. Yeah, Shaw, I wasn't trying to go there. Freddie Jackson. You are my lady. Stop lying. You're everything I need and more. Yeah, right, nigga. You're right. I'm gonna go listen to some Freddie Jackson just because you get down like that. He wrote some great stuff, man. He said all quick shit is. This is what I'm talking about. Now these chicks got mad with me when I said, look, man, you're getting upset that I ain't get you backstage, but you'd have got backstage and got bombarded by like 7 or 8 dudes from his entourage. You wouldn't have been able to touch them because he'd have been hugged up with his boo, with his Latin boo with the mustache. And I pointed him out. I said, you see that guy that was on the stage with the ponytail? He the only dude out here not looking like a rapper. Do you know who that was? That was his Latin Spice. Almost threw up. And he wasn't the only one. There's some names I could drop right now. Y'all be like, word? I seen it, man. But who am I? Whatever, man. Whatever, man. So when that stuff with Diddy came out, I'm like, y'all late. He been on that kind of time. Y'all are late. Late. Latin Spice had his damn eyebrows all done up. He had the Pert Plus bounce in his hair, and he stuck out like a sore thumb. I'm like, who is that? I'm backstage, making sure nobody get back there. I turn over there, and he's booed up. I'm like, ooh, all right. We got another one. There it is.
Man crush.
There you go. There it is. Diddy was down so bad, Mace left the industry for like how many years? He just bounced. He could tell you some shit. What you talking about? But my point of the show is, who are your idols? You're idolizing these dudes? Kevin Gates, who's saucy as hell? Tank Davis, who I know this kid got problems. I could see it. Mansa Musa, my brother. You could, look, I see it on him like I see who he was hanging out with, Adrian Broner. Now, do y'all remember what happened with him and AV? What we saw? When they're not out in the club doing a selfie thing and he tried to kiss Tank on his face, and that was the best head movement you saw Tank do. But I said, yo, I've never been out with my boys and played like that. Exactly, Auntie. Exactly. I was like, yo, you don't play like that, bro. AB's drinking, he's putting out sex tapes, doing way too much. But when he slows it down and he starts talking, I see that shit in him too. And that's another thing, man. It might be a whole nother show, but I did the how young black boys get essayed and nobody says anything. These dudes be messed up. Instead of getting help or owning it, the way they own it is they excel in their craft and they get angry at the world because whatever happened to them, they're mad that no adult picked up on it to save them. I got this video and I don't even know how to upload it. I'm waiting to upload it to clown somebody, but check this out, y'all. There was an Uber driver and this black dude with dreads gets in the back seat. He's driving, he pulls him up to his destination. He's like, all right, brother. The brother opens the door and like he was about to leave and then he like sticks his head back in. He's like, you want some head? The driver said, what? He said, you want some head? And he was like, nah. And dude left. And then dude looks at the camera. He's like, yo, did you hear that? Bro. If that dude sat in that back seat quiet, you would have never thought. You'd have never thought. I have the video, bro. I was just, you know how I like to hold stuff in the chamber because I like to clown people. But I couldn't find anywhere to put it in at the pause. I couldn't find anywhere to slip it in as a on StreamYard. They have it as a slide. I didn't know how to, but that's a real video. I have it. And I said, what did he say? What the heck? Bro. See what I mean? See that? Yeah, I said slip it in. Pause. So I saw that spirit on Kanye years ago. And it's not on our time, it's on God's time. I told y'all, sometimes you don't have to say a word. Now, everything was alleged. Now, I never gotten to no chicks arguing over, I don't argue over these men. But when I was in the industry, like on a security basis, there was things that I saw and I had women telling me I was a hater. Nowadays, I have men telling me, oh, you just hating. No, this dude's a fairy. There's something wrong with him. He needs help. Oh, you just hate Tank. Yeah, I do. Since you want to put that coat on me, all right, cool. Cool. I hate him. But get this boy some help because he's just been, forget crashing out. He's been obliterating out. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now, Kanye's mama passed, and, like I said, he had a nervous breakdown that was undiagnosed. But it's gotten progressively worse, and now he's been off the radar, and now he's putting out this new song called Cousins off I guess, a new album, and I just read you the lyrics. These are the lyrics. And for those of you that don't know, you can look it up yourself. You can look it up yourself. It's a song called Cousins by Kanye West, featuring, I think, David Blunt's. And he talks about how him and his cousin found some nudie magazines. And I think they saw two men kissing. I don't know why. Hold on. Let me read that again. Let me read it again. Hanging with my cousin, reading dirty magazines. We seen some niggas kissing. We ain't know what that shit mean. Now, I don't know why they had, wherever he was living or at his aunt house or whatever have you. I don't know where they were, where they had gay magazines for them to see it. But I also understand that he continued this behavior until he was like 14. Somebody said that. So let's say, yo, look, man, instinctively, like when I was, as far back as I remember as a kid, I didn't like being in the locker room where other men got ass naked, changing it. I just didn't like it. I always knew instinctively, way before puberty. I always knew it was like, it was annoying to me. It was like, whoa, chill. Stop it. So, this dude, apparently, he was topping off his cousin until the age of 14. And apparently his cousin went to prison for deleting a woman, and he got life, and he's feeling guilty for that for whatever reason. For you to top your cousin, he said he was topping his cousin. And maybe that messed up his cousin mentally. I like it, I'm finishing, but this is a man. I know this is wrong. So in a sense, Kanye's blaming himself. You see how dysfunctional this shit is? But you'll have men defending this and justifying this. If I say, hey man, this is real telling. All those problems that he had a few years ago and all this is what this was about. He needed therapy. You just hating on Kanye. All right, whatever, man. You know what you sound like? Shorty, when I invited her to that concert and was mad because I couldn't get her backstage. You sound like every girl in high school and junior high school that got mad at me for saying I didn't like that Keith Sweat song. I didn't like the I'll Be Sure album. He can't sing live. You sound like those chicks in the 80s and 90s. Grown men ride with Kevin Gates and he's saucy. Grown men talking about Tank is fun to watch. Not in the ring, but like how we watch Beyonce bounce around and dance on stage. And now you got Kanye. I don't know what else to tell you guys, man. I don't know what else to tell you. But if you got young kids, they're a Tank Davis fan, or they're a, Kevin Gates fan or a Kanye fan, you need to let them know what is real about them. Yeah, you could like how he fights, you could like his music, But spitting in a girl's mouth is disgusting. I can't be around you all day, every day, but let me tell you how that makes you an animal doing that. And I see everything he puts out online, and he don't know what the hell he's talking about. Tank Davis is not a prince of a person, and I ain't gonna get into all of that. Y'all already know. If you follow me, you know. So you can like how he fights in the ring. If that motivates you to get in shape and get to a gym, then great. But don't get so in depth with this guy that you're overlooking who he is as a person, because as a person, he's a piece of shit. Kanye West has some issues. You could like his music, but he's speaking his truth, and there's obviously something wrong with him. So enjoy the music, but don't follow his path. Fair enough? I ain't gonna long stroke y'all, man. I'm here for an hour. Work schedule's changed again. But salute to y'all. Feel me? Y'all just be careful out here. Tell your kids. I know everyone in here is adult, man, but tell y'all kids, man. You ask them who their idols are, and it should be you. Because as far as I'm concerned, you know, when I read this about Kanye and I said this got to be some troll shit. No, he's dead serious. This was me when I heard this.
Can I ask you what's going on? 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 Can I ask you what's going on?
Hell yeah, that was me. I was like, excuse me. Yo, salute to everybody in the Venmo, the Zelle, the Cash App, the Super Chat. Auntie Jenny, got to get you on the panel. I'll let you know what the topic is. You let me know when you're free. All right, Queen, just hit my email. I got to clean up my damn email. 1000slaps@gmail.com. That is 1000slaps@gmail.com. I got to clean my damn email out. Salute to you. Salute to everybody. And I'll be talking that boxing in the morning. So there's a lot going on. And y'all stay blessed, man. Much love.
The Painful Excellence Podcast.